So I'm going to, like, move over to them, kind of waiting for Tessian to stop me, and if he doesn't, then I'm going to talk to them. All right, well, boys, thank you for your help. It's your lucky day. We're going to make sure you get some protection. We're going to keep you here for another evening, and then you'll accompany us to a lovely little town called Glen Kogo. They'll take care of you there. Okay, is that them just not talking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought you were, like, thinking of what they would respond with.
Mm.
Okay.
2 of them are still gagged.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't care about those 2. Did they ever tell us how many are coming? Are supposed to be coming?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'll ask them.
Then they'll say they don't know.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
They can. I mean, since Zone of Truth is still active for the time being, it was more than 1. Like they had heard multiple, but don't know.
Well, Tessian will pull Grail and probably Lena aside. I mean, this is kind of a discussion for all of us, but we still have no guarantee that this will be everyone, despite that's what they know. If the attack was tonight, then we need to make sure we set an extra pair of guards and keep an eye on them and the rest of the farm.
We could ambush them. I'm sorry, was I not a part? You said Lena and Grail aside. Am I not also there?
If whoever wanders over, doesn't matter.
Okay. So I would just say I'm tempted to create an ambush for them in where they're supposed to meet, but if for some reason the plans changed or we were tricked somehow, then we're leaving the farm wide open for the attackers and we're not there.
I think we stay here. It'll be, regardless of how many come, well, we're ready. We know they're coming, and we can take steps to be prepared for when they get here.
What time is it?
It's like mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock.
Well, we have at least a few hours then in this case, and we can catch up. We have a lot to tell you.
Will they're doing that? I'm going to ask how many, the one who's being helpful, how many of these holes that he's been in or seen before?
He looks hesitant to answer, but even just like a quick little glare from you, he goes, a whole lot.
Now would be the time to pull out a map and be like, get to sketching, buddy.
Yeah,
but,
no, nobody's here helping me, and I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
Also, probably, I can read a map. I can sail a boat, for fuck's sake.
The real question is, could he read a map? I mean, there's no compulsion that'll fix him being stupid, so.
That's true, too. But I wouldn't be worried about that. I'm going to ask him specific, pointed questions about Dragonborn and slaves and that sort of thing. What he knows about.
Says he doesn't know anything about that. He's heard about some jobs to the east, but never been a part of anything like that.
Ooh, what other bases has he been to? Not holes like this, but has he ever been to something grander, like bigger, with larger with more people in it, that sort of thing?
Doesn't answer.
Karash, are we good? Do you want to see what his favorite color is, or can we move on?
Okay, that's helpful information.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not, but
Tessian agrees. He's like, no, I'd like to know this as well. Any other places that are not holes in the ground?
After having his first 2 answers squelched, the third is that the Blades have a base of operations in many cities.
And Tessian's like, amazing. And you know what? Fun fact, the sky is also blue most often than not. Any desire to tell me any more? Better question. Where's the nearest base of operations outside of a hole?
No answer. You got about 30 seconds left on this Zone of Truth.
Oh, that's fine. We can do this. We can do this again. It's not. Don't worry about it.
We're going to spend the whole next session doing it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we have a golden opportunity here.
This is a Zone of Truth campaign now.
Damn straight it is. It's intimidation and torture. Yeah!
I mean, gosh, Tessian's gonna get in on this. He wants to know this. I mean, I don't know what kind of intimidation he needs to do, but he'll get a little sparkly if he has to, you know?
I'm gonna grab the guy's arm or I guess his leg and lift it up, and then get my rear back with my sword like I'm gonna chop it off. To point out that I have every intention of chopping it off.
All right, I'm watching you like a hawk.
I'm also watching
Both of you. I'm watching both of you. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Watching.
I'm gonna roar where.
Tessian will do the, fun fact, this zone of truth affects me as well. Let me assure you, this will hurt.
Has the zone of truth ended yet?
No, and before it does, he says Timberbrook.
Okay.
He still gets to be evasive.
Yes, he does.
And it's technically the truth.
And I'm gonna shove, not super hard, but kind of shove Karash off, and I'm like, are we good now? We got a great lead. Let's ease off a little bit. We are not the monsters here.
And Tessian will just kind of pat him on the other guy in the chest and just be like, "You've been a great help, thank you."
And the
I
spell.
gag them both.
Oh God, I said so much.
As the spell fades.
I'm gonna gag them both again.
Okay. So.
It's just a matter of establishing, we need to establish watches and make sure we've got our eyes on the horizon.
We should.
Rollins is around, right?
Yep, they're both there.
Rollins, do you want to take first watch?
He says, "Not by myself."
God damn it.
And you see a nod from Millicent. You're damn right, not by yourself.
I mean, I have no problem joining my pa for first watch.
No, it should probably be me. You need to fill in Tessian and Karash on everything that happened here, and vice versa. Karash has more of the story to tell. We found his mother. Fun fact.
I know. We should.
What?
And I on an aside, I'm like, "Oh, Karash, that's wonderful," but obviously this is the time.
That's my point. So if you want to head in, I'll keep Rollins company.
We should prepare an ambush at their hole.
But we went over that already.
I wasn't there for that. I was standing in front of the dudes in the zone of truth still.
Tessian will say, "We've decided that it would be a poor idea to split our forces. And honestly, I'm not very keen on putting myself in a hole in order to get trapped."
I have nobility. I will not be in some hole.
I insert myself into holes.
I must say, there are ways to collapse holes. I'd rather not be in one.
We should at least set a trap so that if someone enters the hole, they will not be bothering us.
If you can think of a trap that we can create in a few hours, Karash, please let me know.
I'm not much of a trap maker myself.
God, you guys are helpful.
I mean,
You're the one who can think of a trap. I don't know a trap.
Yeah, but this is my wheelhouse. This is messing with people like slavers would have had all sorts of crap that I'd have to deal with.
we might have some kind of wolf traps or something to protect our sheep.
Oh, like a literal like a bear trap.
Like literally,
oh my
yeah.
God.
How far is that location away? It's pretty close, but
Yeah, 3/4 mile maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If Grail's got anything like that, it's game on.
I don't know if we do. This is a question I'm going to kind of ask Chris, but the idea did come up that, that's something a rancher might have.
You do, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
well,
Yeah.
okay. What if then I stay with Rollins and you all together, so you can talk, go in the wagon, set the traps, and you can catch up during the trip.
Yeah, that's whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
Lena, you're a druid. You might be good at setting traps, right?
I don't actually know if I am.
Well, and especially considering that she's
Maybe?
vegetarian
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
stuff. I
say,
don't know
she
what
said
she'd
a lot
be
of trap for
trapping.
that.
Yeah, we don't
Me-
we don't do that.
We
There's
sure do
something
love hurting
there.
bears.
No,
I don't know.
I do stuff with like herbs. Herbalist kit. That is a thing I have that I don't think I've
You want-
ever used.
You want to
oops.
get them high? Is that what we're?
I
Yes.
mean, I could probably concoct something like that.
That's awesome.
There we go.
Where's that been this whole time?
Exactly.
We could have just been sitting
This is
around
a
just like,
Very different campaign. Nothing's gonna get done.
hey, Lena. how's it hanging?"
You ever think that we're the real monsters?
I'm literally a dragon. Yeah, no, really, I kind of am. I don't. Yeah, no, we could play catch up and go set some wolf traps then.
Okay. So it's everybody but Isaac, essentially?
And Rollins.
Right. And Millicent, who's not going with.
And I'm gonna make sure that our new friends are not just tied up, but like tied together and around a post and away from anything that could possibly like be used as a weapon or a tool. And like I'm talking like bound to the point of discomfort, and I could give two shits about them.
Okay.
Seems about right.
That's
Yep.
nice.
If there's a chain handy, I'll use that. I don't care.
Sure.
Just for our viewers, Crash is pretty good with ropes.
If there's razor wire, I mean, everything's fair game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Is there barbed wire on your fence or on your on this farm?
No.
I would stop you anyway, so please.
I don't think there was.
Hey, barbed wire is not nearly as bad as you think it is. You really have to rub up against them hard for them to hurt. They're meant to hurt very large animals with very thick skin. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Now, razor wire.
The more you know.
All right, well, let's get the show on the road.
Yeah,
I
you
will
wanna-
drive the wagon.
Okay. Horses seem happy to see you.
I'm happy to see them too.
Especially
Aw.
compared to Tessian. They like Theo, okay. They didn't hate Tessian, but not the same.
I'm gonna tell Grail like, so we're separated again. Stay safe. We'll catch up soon.
And I kind of just give him a little bit of a wave, like, see you when I see you, I guess.
Later, bitch.
Smell you later.
All right. Excellent. Okay,
So-
continue.
You guys make your way back over. It doesn't take very long in the wagon to the spot that Tessian and Karash can now point out. And Grail, it does sort of match where you saw the figures disappear when you were keeping watch the night before. All the pieces kind of click into place. And you can now see the... I don't know if you guys left the hatch open or not, but you can see the same setup as you left it just an hour ago or so.
Okay. That gives me peace of mind, that's for sure. And I explained to them like what I saw and that matches the number that I remember seeing in the night. So yeah, I guess we should decide how to set this up. And I mean, can we look around, see if there's anything else going on in the vicinity?
You can make a perception check.
Yeah, at a minimum, we're gonna want to see if there's anything else that might be helpful around.
Yeah. I am going.
I did not need to do that with advantage, but it would have been fun if I had, because and that 20.
23.
20, not natural.
I'm re-rolling because that's some nonsense.
We are perceiving the hell out of things.
Oh,
Okay.
oh!
Oh,
That 20 anyway.
Well, okay. Well,
Some of us roll tens.
You're still bummed about Thea.
yeah.
You're useless today.
Just mild depression. It's fine.
It's fine. Nobody's even going to ask how you're doing. They're just going to ignore you.
Yeah.
Looking around the area, you can kind of see why this location was chosen. It was chosen because it was off the beaten path and because really nothing else about it stood out. It's one of those, if you're in the know, you know, and if not, you wouldn't really think to come over this way and look at it.
Yeah.
Karash, as you kind of have the time to take an extra look now and you're not worried about what's inside anymore, the thing that you notice is there's not a lot of traffic here. You're not exactly an expert tracker by any means, but you're at least familiar enough with the concept of footprints and trail marks and stuff that there's very few different sets of footsteps here From a quick glance, you can tell that this has not been used a ton recently, if at all. Like, you would expect the grass to be tamped down more, and it's not. For the most part, you can see there's been people coming and going, and that fits your recent idea of it, but looking at it, you can kind of tell, like, this is not an often traveled location compared to some of these others they spoke of.
Is this trapdoor pretty well hidden then too? Like if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't know it was there, sort of thing.
Pretty well, yeah. Because when it lays flush with the ground, I mean, there's just grass over top of it. It's meant to blend in. If now that you're next to it, you can kind of see the outline that it creates from being able to lift up, because it's not like a perfect fit. But the grass does kind of help overlap such that it's pretty well covered. If you know where to look, you can spot it decently enough. But if you don't, you could pass it without a second thought.
All right.
I'm going to ask how they found this. I mean, I don't know that you saw people like running in there.
Isaac spotted it, although I'm not sure how.
Oh my god.
You got married.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a relief on one hand, and then I kind of, since we're stopped, I'll lug the wolf trap out, and
Is it one or is it plural?
I don't know how many. I don't know.
Let's say 2.
Okay.
17.
Oh God.
2.
Does anyone have any advice on where to put these?
On whatever path the people are walking through. So wherever it is, I see the most footprints.
I think we also put them inside.
That's what I was thinking too.
It's a single corridor. If we put it somewhere along the initial hallway or towards before it empties out into the main room, it's possible someone will step past the first one on accident, hit the next. Maybe we catch 2, 1 at most.
Okay, but in Draconic, I'm going to say porque los nos dos. Oh God, Lord.
We'll edit that out in post.
Yeah, why not both? Why not
Why
one
not?
outside on the incoming path and one in the hallway in the inside?
Well, if they step on one outside, I don't know that they would check inside.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious, though.
Ow, but I'm
They
really
might
determined.
make a mistake. I'm just saying. I'll concede. I'm not a trap expert by any means.
It's possible that her family put one out here, but it seems a little too coincidental. Whereas once they're already inside, they have no reason to suspect anything is wrong. They might be in a rush to get in. Who knows?
Would it be worth maybe putting one like, I don't know. I was thinking maybe the foot of the stairs, like when you step all the way down in there, because it'll be dark. Hopefully they won't see it.
Actually, since it's stairs and they're moving down, I'll inspect the stairs. What's it made out of? Like, is it stone or is it just like dirt?
Pretty much dirt.
I have ball bearings that I could put on one to have them trip.
But the ball bearings would probably just get squished into the dirt, wouldn't it? Like,
That's the problem.
Well, they might still trip them. They're still smooth. But regardless,
I'm thinking we just literally just kind of dig out a step and just put the trap on the step. So hopefully if they're walking, they step, it's like your foot gets caught. They can tumble down. Maybe even they land on the other one.
Oh,
or
Jesus.
whatever.
also, if we put it up near the top enough, we might get a heads up that they're in town because we'll hear one of them scream in pain.
It's possible.
Well, I'm fine with it. I don't care. I'm gonna start walking around and following where the tracks go back from to try and where they're coming in from.
These tracks are not plentiful enough for you to do that.
Okay, then I will stop short of
The
going
collection
very
of
far.
them sort of bunches up near the entrance to it, but once it disperses from about 15 feet out, there's just not enough of them to really follow them in any meaningful way.
Okay, I'm gonna start spiraling out from the center of this thing, and I'm gonna cast Detect Magic to see if I can sense anything in the area. So I'm still curious about how it was the first dude escaped when we were at the first hole.
I'm looking at the spell. 30 feet. One action up to 10 minutes. Don't sense anything. You make a pretty thorough sweep, and you do an expanding radius as you kind of get further and further away from it, covering, I don't know, maybe up to a half a mile in most directions. At least a quarter. No magic.
I hate this place already. Whatever.
And we're just gonna put some traps and some steps. I think that is the best option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Takes a bit of time, but with Lena's help especially, because she's a druid, she's familiar with nature-y stuff, you're able to basically, and the ground is neither super firm nor super soft, it's sort of in between, so it takes a little bit of time and some digging, but you're able to embed a bear trap on one of the first few steps going in, and then the base of the steps.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do the one on the bottom first. Just thinking out loud here. You don't have to step over one as you come in.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Right. Yeah. Seems like a good call.
Okay. Anything else?
Make an effort to cover our tracks so that it doesn't look like we've been there, especially me who wandered around quite a bit.
Okay.
Any other clever suggestions?
Mm-mm.
I'm
Nope.
looking, but I'm not seeing anything in my spells that'd be particularly helpful.
Have you guys seen Your Next? She puts like a wood plank with a nail in it and like obvious in the window, and then the intruders are like dumb bitch, and they step over it, and then that's where the real trap is.
Oh, that's cool.
Thought that'd be
Yeah.
fun, but I'm not there, and it also probably wouldn't work. So
We will grab some rations. There's some food. There's some supplies there. We might as well just steal their shit and give it to Grail's family. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
There was nothing else of interest inside the cave though when we were looking around, was there?
Nope.
Mm.
Okay.
Nope. Tessie swept it before.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah, might as well close it up and make it look like we weren't there, and then wander back to town or right back to the house.
Yep.
Okay.
Back to the ranch.
So you guys load up the wagon with some of the foodstuffs, bring them with you.
Mm-hmm.
Takes all of, again, on cart, like 10 minutes to make your way back to the ranch, where you still see Isaac and Rollins.
So
Keep 'em watch.
should we discuss the whole situation with the man and the woman coming and they're trying to like offer assistance, right? So they can have leverage over my family and the farm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably go over that.
Yeah, so I mean that's the backdrop kind of for, and I don't really know exactly how it's connected to the Blades because they supposedly protected us by killing some of the Blade members, but it was unsolicited from us. There's a whole lot of weird stuff happening, and it's unclear.
for what it's worth, we didn't cut back because you probably didn't think, but I do want to ask Rollins something while we're chilling.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of quietly, and because we don't have to be right up on them, I would just say, Rollins, I don't mean any disrespect, but these Blades are here for a job, and we're going to work to repel them. But if they're here for a reason, our attempts might be only temporary. Is there something you're not telling us about why they're here? Why are they so interested in your farm?
Shakes his head. He said, I don't know. I mean, we're not in the best shape financially, but I don't owe anybody anything.
So there was no seedy loans or anything that maybe even could have gone bad, whether it was your intention or not.
I mean, when we were in the most dire shape, we worked with some folk in Timberbrook who didn't necessarily seem like the best people. We knew that going in, but we squared away our debts at the time.
Or at least you think you did, right?
Could be. I floated the idea last night. My wife doesn't like me going off to the city to find out more. Then again, considering what happened in the Shade Mire, I don't know that I blame her.
Well, when everyone gets back and we resolve this, maybe give us some information about who you got this loan from in Timberbrook. A lot of our paths seem to be coalescing to make that our next destination, even though I'm not thrilled about it. So maybe we can look into it for you.
Well, I'd be much obliged. The not knowing right now is, I think, the hardest part.
I understand that. That's all I had.
Cool. Okay.
Tessie at least chimes in. These people sound like they're trying to con you. It definitely sounds like they're making a pass. I suspect they're working with the Blades, despite the body count.
I kind of like stopped. I never really considered that. That seems counterintuitive.
Well, apparently the Blades have every intention of getting you off this farm. Wouldn't make sense, or it would make sense for them to try a few different methods. If they can't drive you off physically, they might be able to convince you to sell it otherwise. And all they'd have to do is throw a few new recruits that they've picked off the streets. Just, toss them in a few shallow graves, and they get what they want anyway.
We can ask them.
I suspect that these young boys might just be cannon fodder, if this is the true strategy. They wouldn't know at all. They're there with every belief that that's exactly what they're supposed to do until they get killed by their own people from behind.
I'm kind of shaking my head, like knowing that my brother is part of this and complicit in some way, and it was also a part of this and probably one of these red shirt kind of expendable people at one point. But I don't say anything.
I can't prove that that's what's happening, but it reeks of a con job to me.
Oh, it makes perfect sense, actually. I didn't consider that. I guess I just assume there's some kind of loyalty even amongst thieves, but
I find it far too coincidental that two separate groups are both making a play for your farm at the same time.
I always thought that was strange as well, considering that the two, the people who kept showing up, whatever their names were, I don't know if I even got their names, but the man and the woman, how they, shot the Blades and just left them there as if to help us. Like, how would they know that they were there to even presumably take them down? It just was very suspicious. Yeah.
It's true. We're out here in the middle of nowhere, and they just happened to be walking by. It did strike me as odd. That's true.
Is there anything nearby that is odd?
Yes. What's the history of this region, if you don't mind me asking, Grail? It seems like a lot of work for a farm seemingly in the middle of nowhere. I doubt the property value is that high, no offense, but if your farm happens to exist on some sort of magical ley line, something that is important to the region, it may be worth a substantial bit more than just the ranch that sits on top of it.
I kind of look at my dad and I say, I'm not aware of any magical ley lines. I don't think our property has any special value. And I kind of, again, I look at my dad like, is there something you know that I don't?
He shakes his head. He says, not that I know of. I feel like we couldn't have bought it for the price we did when your ma and I were first together if there had been anything more substantial going on. And if it was discovered since then, I think we would know about it.
Right. I mean, the reason we had the farm to begin with is because it's out of the way. It's not desirable land, from what I understand.
Well, it's perfect for raising sheep. Plenty of vast fields and lots of grass, but it doesn't have a whole lot of other purpose. It's not really close to any of the other major cities. The ones that are closer to Timberbrook can rely on them a lot more thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's sort of off the beaten path, which we've always liked, but I don't much know why someone would be interested in it.
God, Tessian, is there a way that he can try to think back, to just studies, anything in the geography of the region? Is there anything important around here? Is there a check for that? I don't know, a history or an arcana or something?
A history check. You're the most well-read of the group.
And Tessian, just with anything related to a dwelling of a whatever that creature that we fought.
The Gorgon?
Yeah. So geography, Gorgon, all of that, it might help narrow something.
It's true. Something in the woods nearby or something. I don't know. History check is 15. If I could roll higher than a 10, that'd be great. 15.
No, you're Mike. You're playing the role of Mike today.
Mm.
I mean, to some extent, you already know a lot about this because not too far southeast of here is the Cryptwood, which you're more than familiar with. The Shademire is not one that you're as familiar with, but you had at least heard stories about it. You also kind of know about Black Harbor's history.
Yeah.
You know about the magical lineage of the Sowenwood. So there's several things in this side of the continent that have either nefarious or good, some like magical remnants to it. This particular spot out in the middle of nowhere, there's nothing you've heard about here.
Okay. Yeah. So it says as much. I can't think of any reason in this spot in particular why it would be so important, unless it has something to do with your lineage, Grail, and whatever is happening to you now.
I mean, I don't think, and again, as far as I know, this land was not like passed down. It was purchased by my parents, right?
Correct.
Okay. So we have no ancestral connection to this land.
Then, unfortunately, I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of why they'd need this region in this alone. Even if they were trying to build a road or construct something, they could easily bypass and go around your property. There's plenty of space. I don't know.
The only real connection that we have is Holden. And I don't know what that means, because he has a position of power amongst the Blades, and so I don't know why there would be contention.
Did he ever return home after his time with the Blades?
He has.
Is it possible he's left something on the property that they need to search for?
I don't know. I have no idea. I did go through his room, right?
Yep.
And there was nothing that I really saw.
Perhaps we should do so again, maybe with a keener eye and a sense for magic, and Tessian will look for Crash.
Maybe. It's worth a shot. At this point, I'm drawing a blank, y'all.
I'll admit I don't know, but it's a thought. I guess Tessian will ask Rollins. When Holland was here last, did he spend time in any place in particular? The barn, the house, his room? What kind of visit was it?
He kind of thinks about it for a second, but he says, I don't remember anything in particular standing out. He hasn't been back for months now. It seems like as he got deeper into trouble, even though he wouldn't talk about it much, he was more and more unlikely to come back. And now we haven't seen him for a while. So if he did something, it was a while back, but this only started happening recently. I don't know.
And then just for clarification, when was the first time we started to see the Wannon woman?
2 days ago.
That was the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Kind of stumped.
It's possible your brother has turned a leaf, betrayed the Blades somehow?
I'd love to believe that, but I don't think that's the case. At least not right now.
Well, I think it's worth looking around, taking another look around, but other than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Show me to his room.
All right. Okay.
He wants to smell the bed sheets.
I mean, who doesn't want to do that? That's normal.
Yes.
God.
Role playing.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah. So you take Karash up to Holden's room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start there and move down out of the house and around it with detect magic on.
And knowing this is the plan, Millicent comes with you, brings the key, lets you in, since Grail picked it last time.
I did. Yes.
Detect magic does not reveal anything in the room.
Why do you phrase it like that? Damn you!
I know. It's like I'm being intentionally vague.
Tessian will take a look around the room himself. He wants to do a pass with his own eyes.
Make an investigation check.
If I'm wrong, wasn't there a letter?
There was a letter to
me.
you in the room.
Yeah.
16.
This is a tidy room, whether that's Holden's doing or perhaps his parents, you're not entirely sure. A bookcase with a lot of books in it, a desk. Everything kind of has just the real thin layer of dust from a lack of use over time. But kind of giving the room a quick sweep, nothing about it really stands out. In fact, if anything, it just seems like a room that has lost some of its character because it's been unoccupied for so long. There are remnants of someone who lived here for some time, but it seems like anything that was important he took with him.
Okay. I feel like I want to check the bookshelf. Just like scan through the books, make sure there's nothing sort of like a book that's too thick. It's got something stashed in it.
Check between the mattresses.
I think Tessian would just be drawn to the bookshelf. It's sort of normally his thing.
I mean, you're in the room too, Karash.
No, I was going to walk around the house. I was going to turn Detect Magic on and walk around the house. All the way, like, downstairs and all around it.
Testing, nothing about the bookcase stands out either. Bunch of books. Mostly fantasy. Seems Holden at a younger age was more of an idealist. Liked reading nonfiction. Doesn't appear to have taken those books with him. So, tells you what he thinks about fiction versus nonfiction now.
It's a shame. Maybe him and Thea could have gotten along.
Detect Magic. I already had this up before and then I closed it. I can't explain my thought process here because it'll give things away, so... I know. Just saying that there is a thought process gives something away, but I'm having to kind of suss this out live.
You could be vague about what it is I detect. You're GMing.
I mean, I can, but basically you get a faint aura around an object, and I'm trying to figure out...
Oh, wow. Nice.
This has failed so many times, too. I almost feel bad. Make make an Arcana check.
Yeah, let's pick intelligence based. That's gonna. What's the damage? 12.
It's not the worst.
No, you rolled a 14. That's good.
-2.
Sweeping the house, you feel something in the downstairs area. It's strange because you're having a hard time pinpointing it. And even as you ask Rollins and Millicent about it, there is no cellar in the house. But you're picking up some kind of object underneath you, below the first floor. Technically, you're supposed to be able to see the aura, but I'm guessing you can just kind of see it as though it exists in the ground.
I just imagine Crash just starting to like rip floorboards apart.
Oh no! I'm totally gonna start looking around for a spot in the house somewhere or outside of the house somewhere, and I'm gonna call down to you that there is something underneath the house.
Okay.
Do you let Tessie know and stuff too?
Yeah, I'm gonna yell to you guys that there's something beneath the house.
Okay.
Is there? I don't
There's
know.
something beneath the house.
Can see. I assume he gets the Arcana check because he has Detect Magic.
Essentially.
It is not. Okay, so it's not like Tessian can like suss out what this is.
No, I
using
gave
it.
him that
Okay.
check because in theory it's supposed to be blocked by X amount of dirt or wood or other objects. But because he's just picking up kind of like the sense of it within 30 feet, I let him have a crack at it, and 10 was the DC, so...
Oh.
It is because of Detect Magic, though. Other means would not... Well, other less direct means would not be effective.
I'm start poking around looking for a spot in the floor that might be a trapdoor or side of the house. I don't care.
I'm gonna go down there, and I would know if there's like an area that goes down into like a crawl space or anything like that, probably, or at least my dad would.
I will have all of you in the house. I guess that's the bottom row. I don't know where Lena's at.
God, where am I? I'm probably in the house too at this point.
I'm interested, but it's getting like evening-ish now,
At this
right?
point, the sun is getting close to setting. You're probably looking at an hour or so tops before things could start happening.
I'm gonna keep watching just in case.
I kind of figured you
It's
and
fair.
Rollins are still on like the front patio, just kind of keeping an eye on
Yeah.
things. In earshot, but not. So then, Lena, let's see where you are.
I'm sorry, what?
I said it's up to where you are if you're part of this or not. I don't know what you're doing.
Sure, yeah, I probably would have come inside at some point.
So then the 4 of you make an investigation check.
I don't know. I don't know if this makes a lot of sense, but I think Tessian's going to use shape water. Try to get some water. Tiny crash.
It's going so well. Oh, okay.
18.
11.
Tessian basically wants to take water and like see if he can find divots. I don't know how the floors are built, but like if it's supposed to be ground underneath the wood, the water would just sort of pool, I imagine. But if like there's an empty space, I guess it should like leak through. So he's just gonna sort of try to move the water around and see if it starts to like leak through. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pushing it along.
Yeah. I don't know.
Crash, what'd you get?
12.
Let me fix you first, because fucking...
Ooh, go Jason. I mean, Tessian.
You guys kind of start looking around the first floor, looking for anything. Grail, you also know firsthand, there's no basement, no cellar.
Okay.
But Tessian, using the water in this fashion, for fuck's sake. It's fine. He's just going to stay that way. We're almost done anyways.
There you go. There you go.
Using the water in this fashion, you pick up on a spot in the floorboards in the hallway between the living room and the back bedrooms of the first floor that seems off.
Okay. Tessian like, here, there's something not right. And honestly, he's probably just going to start prying open floorboards. Sorry to your floor, but yeah.
We can rebuild it.
I mean, according to Tessian, how much lower can the value of your house get?
That's true. Property damage, minuscule impact.
I mean, if we can figure out what this is, maybe the property value goes up. You know, maybe.
As you pull up the floorboards, the dirt underneath does seem softer than it should. And it should be noted that, like, upon just appearance, as you look over it, there's nothing about the floorboards that really stood out as being different. It's just the water kind of flowed in differently there than it did in other spots. But are you digging into this, Tessian?
Yeah, he will. Yeah. If he's got to get a dagger in there and then just kind of start shoveling it away or whatever.
Yeah. You work at this for a few minutes, and eventually the dagger strikes something metal. And as you brush dirt aside to get a better look at it and take out the remaining that's on top, it appears to be a pretty ornate black small treasure chest, maybe like 10 inches on the long side and 5 or 6 on the short side. It is locked.
Tessian will call Crash over because he wants to know what kind of aura he's picking up from this thing.
Would it still be running at this point, even?
I mean, you could probably just recast it, yeah.
Yeah, I can recast it. If it's not running again, I'll recast it.
It's first level, because I think by now, the time you took to look around and stuff, no. But,
yeah, and dig it up. No.
Yeah. So,
Right.
no, but I know you have more first level spells yet, so.
Yep. Casty.
So you can cast it.
Casty.
I'm looking up
I
a thing.
cast.
Hold on.
Oh, I thought you were waiting for me to actually say I was casting.
No. Do you really cast Karash?
Jesus Christ, you pedantic fuck.
And as Tessian's kind of studying this lock, is Grail there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there, and I'm ready to pick this fucking thing if once, Karash has kind of observed it.
Tessian will ask.
Sorry, go ahead.
Tessian will ask Grail, how nimble are those magical fingers of yours from a distance?
Ooh, flirty.
From a distance?
Yes.
Tessian takes off his pants.
He is gone, baby. He is gone now.
Sorry.
For
The Anachroschism after dark.
Yes.
To Mage Hand.
He's asking
My
for Mage
Mage
Hand.
Hand.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I got there. But not as nimble as my actual hands, but I think they'll do.
And Tessian's like, if this is trapped in any way, we may not want to be near it when it opens.
Check it for a trap, then.
Yes, which is why we're waiting for you to get close, so you can tell us what kind of aura it has.
So, Karash, as you get close enough to sense this, especially now that he's removed it from the ground and there's no longer a barrier, like a line in between you and this object, you're picking up the School of Evocation from it.
Oh.
And also Necromancy.
Oh, yeah, that's a big no.
Your parents have been dead the whole time.
Oh, that's good. It is very dangerous. It is evocation and necromancy. It will likely be some kind of dangerous something, and it may be that one spell is a trap and the other is something inside of it.
Tessian nods, yeah.
Am I in earshot of it's dangerous and necromancy?
Probably.
If I am, I'm going to be like, Rollins, keep an eye out, and I'm going to go inside.
Yeah, Millicent is also now in the hallway keeping an eye on things because she has no idea that this thing was there. She seems kind of confused by it all. And she looks a bit off-put by the mention of necromancy.
Yeah.
Yep. So you say it's kind of ornate. Is there anything in the design that looks familiar or has a family crest or anything like that?
There is not. It is a nice treasure chest. Like, you can tell it's quality and well made, but it's not especially distinct. It looks like it is sturdy, like whoever had put this here intended for it to be there for a while, but there aren't any like specific markings that stand out.
Tessian's like, well, we should probably remove this from the house as quickly as possible and probably see what's going on. Not that we've uncovered it, we've only made the attacker's job easier should they decide to make a move.
Is there some place to hide this that will not be found easily? The house may be watched even now.
We have a bag of holding.
I was going to say, maybe we should put it in the bag and keep it on our person so it kind of attracts the attention to us rather than the family in the event that we leave.
Yeah, I like all of that. Well, I mean, whatever. Yeah,
After,
I'd like to try to open it at some point, but now is not the time.
No.
I don't know. I think a fireball going off in her face sounds amazing.
Well then, yeah, let's put it in the bag of holding and let's table that for now then.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen from necromancy abilities when you hit 0 hit points? What's the worst that can happen?
Zombie crash.
Yeah, part of me was like, let's just open it in the barn next to all those helpless guys. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Well, makes them
Let them
open it.
open it. I know you said you could go free, but now...
Guys, there's a knife to cut yourself free in the box.
I'm Crash, zombie of cord.
Well, if someone's scrying for it as well, that might very well be blocked by putting it in the bag of holding because it's like a little demi-plane or whatever.
Yeah, it's in a different dimension.
There's some meta nonsense. There's some benefits to putting it in the bag of holding for now.
Yeah.
Who has the bag of holding? Is it me or Tessian? I don't remember.
It's you.
I think it's me? Okay. I'm putting it in the bag of holding.
You are so important to the storyline now. Don't screw this up. You do not have plot armor. I'm going to get the rug out if we still have time and set that up in the living room in front of the front door.
Okay.
The magical happy rug of joy.
Yes. You can lug that out of the wagon and bring it in.
I'm going to lay down the floorboards again to cover up the spot we dug up.
Okay, so you kind of push the dirt back into the hole and then put the floorboard back over it. It's noticeable that you had kind of, picked it up, but not at a quick glance at least.
Yeah.
Like if you inspect it, you go, wait a minute, what happened here? But somebody's running through, they won't see.
Just put a rug over it.
Yeah, a fancy rug. Alrighty, so as our party prepares for whatever may be coming tonight, and now the addition of a mysterious box, we'll leave off there next time. What happens next, and where do they go from here on the Anachroschism?